All right, good morning, everybody, and happy Friday. What a interesting week it has been. Crazy bit of price action, some good, some bad, some profitable, some not so profitable, and a little bit of everything here in between. Santa Claus rally, what? Right? Certainly doesn't seem like we've been getting that enthusiasm here last couple days. And we'll see, right, how price action basically wants to shape up, right, and cooperate, right, for us here in our last two trading days of the year. With a little bit of pre-market data here this morning, right, PCE dropping, and markets gap down and then kind of found a little bit of support post. And we're looking, right, for a continuation narrative of either that downside price action or to see some sort of narrative, right, of a reversal story. Now, historically, right, after such a big sell-off on such big volume and then consolidation, you're kind of setting yourself up for a little bit more of continuation here to the downside. And then we also have option expiration here today, right, with quarterly, monthly, weekly, daily, right, option expirations. So it's a little bit of a volatile session here in store, and we want to be patient, right, and going from there. So if I'm not going to be very, very busy, right, it would be because basically today's a pretty intensive volume session, right, or it has the opportunity to be a pretty intensive volume day, and might just be a little bit cautious, right, based off of that information. Now, historically, with quad witching or sort of the option expiration days, those have been days where I've relatively traded pretty well, and they've been days that are historically more bearish than bullish, especially early on in the session. So we've got a little bit of context there, right? We have some early morning selling, right, based on market data. We have a pretty significant sell-off here so far this week, right? If we look at things on the weekly, it's looking pretty nasty. And then we're also going into an event that is historically more bearish than bullish. So not to say that it can't be a bull case scenario here today. Not to say that it won't be. But yeah, I would say that I'm probably a little bit more interested in a downside case here today. That might be the path of easier resistance, and we'll see if that ends up kind of being the narrative. Now, yesterday, right? Frustrating day, 100%. You know, end the winning streak at 14 days with $600 and something loss. Stung, right? But not bad. And I'm not trying to discredit losing. Obviously, that's not the case here. Obviously, losing sucks. It never feels good. Never does anything along those lines. We also have to remember that that is unfortunately a part of the game. If I go 14 for 15, every time, right, I'm going to have a tremendous trading career. I'm going to have a tremendous year. I'm going to make more money than what I know to do with and everything along those lines. And so it's a reminder that one day, one trade, one outcome does not define the trader. And if you choose to make it or choose to allow that to determine your next decision or how you're going to behave or how you feel about yourself or how you judge yourself or how you look at yourself in the mirror or how successful that makes you feel, then honestly, you're an idiot. And you're not setting yourself up to be successful. Look, talked about this in the past. I'll say it again here in the future. But I like to apply a 24-hour rule to my trading. So that means, right, if I have a green day, right, study why I was green, study what I got from that, right? How can I learn from that? How can I improve? How can I get better? And then don't bring that baggage, right, into the next session. Don't trade with that extra confidence, right, in the next session. After a red day, right, I'm always going to do the same thing, right? Study my trade. Okay, why did I make a decision? Why did I do this? Why did I do that? How can I learn from this? What could I have done better? And then bring that lesson, right, into the day the next day. So if I'm going to pay tuition to the market I may as well show up to class, take my notes, right? Pay attention and move on and do something better with my life, right? I don't have to fester on that. I don't have to let that compound, let that make me miserable. That would ultimately be a choice, and one that I'm unwilling to make here with my trading. So yeah, I'm going to have a lot of losing days. I'm going to have a lot of losing trades. I'm going to have a lot of whatever here going forward. And it really is not personal. If I choose to make it feel personal, if I choose to define that as who I am as a trader, then I'm an idiot, right? And I'm not looking at the evidence that I've even created in the last 2 weeks. And I'm just like over obsessing, right, over the outcome of one day. $600 loss is like 1.2 R. And certainly isn't bigger than the win I had, say, on Wednesday, right? It's not bigger than the win I had on Tuesday. So this idea that I took 12 steps backwards yesterday is also not true, right? So we have to be realistic. We have to hold ourselves to realistic standards. We can't overcorrect. We can't overreact to variance. That's just a part of what this game is. And if you can't walk away being down small and you have to make things worse in the attempts to make things better, then again, you too are also an idiot and you are not setting yourself up to be successful here long term. So yesterday, right, walked away so that I could be within one trade of all-time highs. That is very much the reality here that I'm inside or facing with my trading decisions here today. And hopefully the market will give me an opportunity to not only take advantage of some good volatility and some good momentum, but also set me up to have my last 2 trading days of the year be some days that, bring me presents, not coal. And hopefully, right, we can have ourselves a great end to the year. So with that being said, right, very important that we set our expectations here appropriately for today's trading session. It is not about making back what happened yesterday. It's not about turning December into the biggest month of the year. It's not about doing anything along those lines. It is about focusing on the qualities that consistently make me a successful trader. So if I look at the evidence or the scars inside my brokerage account, what are the reasons why I have been successful here in the last month? What are the things I'm doing well? Well, the things I'm doing well, I'm cutting my losers, right? Or buying deeper pullbacks so that I'm not taking max losses. That's, good thing number one. Good thing number two, right? I'm closing my trades as my P&L is increasing. And that is allowing me to, get more than that 1R, 2R win and creates that margin for error. And then good thing three is I'm being more aggressive in how I am adding to my positions so that I can basically get larger P&L without ever increasing the quality or the quantity of my risk. And then that, right, compounds onto closing as my trades are increasing in P&L, and it sets me up to be closing at 3R, 4R, 5R, 6R, 10R, right, whatever it might be. And again, right, I create a tremendous amount of margin for error inside my trading decisions. So what does that essentially come down to, right? It is the focusing on the quality of my execution, right? Focusing on the quality of the variables I can control that ultimately makes me a profitable trader, ignoring everything else, right? Chasing a number, chasing a feeling, chasing a satisfaction level, right? Whatever it might be. It's all a trap. It all is proven to not make me money. And if I just focus on those variables, I execute those ideas well on a trade-to-trade basis, then the numbers will take care of themselves. If I choose to ignore the quality of those executions in pursuit of a goal, then I will just lose money and I'll get my ass kicked. And I'm not going to enjoy playing this game. And I'm going to feel frustrated. And I'm going to feel as if things are taking longer than they need to go, right? So my objective here as a trader is to prove to myself that I can take good executions on one decision a day and then scale up those concepts. And I'm confident that I can scale them, right? I'm confident that I can manage that risk and that sort of mental capital. And it's your job individually here as a trader to create that proof of concept for yourself and then be able to scale up those ideas as well. So I know I've gone over a lot of things here in the first 10 minutes of the day. Ranty, ravey, all over the place here morning. Scatterbrain, Michael, maybe it's the coffee, maybe it's Maybelline, maybe it's quad witching hour, who knows. But hopefully we can set ourselves up here for a successful trading day. And with that being said, let's start mapping things out, figure out what we want to do here today, and then go from there. So I already took a quick look here at the economic calendar, right? We do have some 10 a.m. data here, consumer sentiment, but today was core PCE, and we'll see basically how that impacts markets. Like I said, main story here is going to be the breakdown, right, that we've seen in the last couple of days, and then the potential, right, for significant volume here with quad witching. So what's the count here on ES? Let's start there and then map things out. Inside bar. Yeah, inside bar. Spot on, right? So we're looking for a consolidation breakout here. And so we're either looking for a move down towards, you know, what was that? 870? Gosh, that's crazy. Levels not seen since last month. Insane. 5870. Then 5860. 5850. 5840. Should also mention here, I know people like when I say these things, this is a spot where I am adding to my long-term portfolio. So as a dollar cost average index investor, this is a area where I am looking to add as much as I basically can afford to my position. To the upside here, right, we'd be looking for ORB fake out under 5,900, right? Turn that into support, then breakout towards I'll say 5,950. Now, I'm not super optimistic about a bull case here today, right? So quad witching means I do have a bearish bias, but we'll have a plan for this in either direction here. Post inside bar, that's fine. Make sense? Cool. All right. NQ. What's the count? Similar, not so similar. How do we feel? Yeah, slightly more volume, right? Increasing volume there. No, it's an inside bar, right? So although it is a red candle, increasing volume in a gap down, yesterday's candle couldn't break outside of Tuesday's range, right? Sorry, of Wednesday's range. So it's a bar that is fully inside, right, that candle profile. So we're going to classify that as an inside bar as consolidation instead of a trend breakout. A trend breakout would have made a lower low or a some sort of indication, right, of piercing that momentum. Because if yesterday's volume was strong, if yesterday's price action was actually strong, why couldn't it break down, right? So that's what we're trying to remind ourselves, is that although it's giving us a lot of bearish hints, it didn't actually show us strength from a price action perspective. right? So inside bar, if it's confined within yesterday's price action, it'll always be an inside bar. If we can pierce that, then we can do 1 for 3, 2 for 3, 3 for 3, whatever it is. Does that make sense? All right. CL, how do we feel in here? I mean, this trend line continues to act as support. Pretty impressive. What's the count here? Yeah, 2 out of 3 to the downside with volume, right? So we have a little bit more of a flexibility here today. Sorry, without volume. And we'll go like 69, 50, 70, 70, 50, right? Then 71, yada, yada, yada. To the downside, if we get under the trend line, right, then we've got space down towards sort of like 67. So ORB, fake out, then break down under the trend line. And we'll say towards starting point 68.50 and then down towards 67. Right? And 68.50 is pre-market low. So plenty of room here if we can get that level of enthusiasm. All right, Apple. Green candle, increasing outlier volume, gap down, right? 2 out of 3. We'll call it a weak 2 out of 3 to the upside with volume. And it's weak in a couple ways, right? Weak candle shape, but then also weak bearish characteristics. Lower low, lower high. Not exactly what you'd expect to see from strong bulls, right? I probably need to get a breakout over 252 here. And then to the downside, probably under 245. Okay, Tesla, lower low, lower high, decreasing volume. Did not set up as an inside bar yesterday. Interesting. We're looking for a breakdown here under 420. Nice. And then to the upside here, this kind of feels like a BB reversal spot or a breakout over 457. Big range. Okay, Microsoft, 2 out of 3 to the downside without volume. Not quite an inside bar, just made a lower low. So this would be a BB reversal, gap fill. And then to the downside here, right, it's like a 433 breakdown. Okay, Amazon inside bar, textbook inside bar here. And you're looking for a 220 breakdown. We'll call it a 219.50 at this point. Or, right, this would be like a BB reversal type setup. Again, extreme prejudice against the bulls here this morning. Obviously doesn't mean it can't happen. But just wanting to make sure, right, that we're not trying to front run a bullish narrative here very aggressively. A lot of historical data that basically goes against that story. 2 out of 3 to the downside, right, without volume. This thing has not been very nice to trade if you're a bull. AMD might be part of the Financial Darwin Awards this year. So look for a 118 breakdown, and then to the upside, not a big enough gap to look for a Bollinger Band reversal. So it'd have to be like a 123 breakout. Okay, NVIDIA, inside bar. So we're looking for a breakdown under 128, right? Or a breakout over 137. Okay, Meta, 2 out of 3 to the downside without volume, right? Again, made a lower low. We're looking for a 590 breakdown at this point, right? Excuse me. Excuse me. I think I have to get over 612, to be honest. Again, not a big enough gap down to look for that BB reversal. Okay, Netflix, inside breezy. And we're looking for a breakdown here under 886 or a breakout over 923. Cool. And then last but not least here, Google. Decent size gap down, inside bar. Nailed that one. And so we're looking for a 185 breakdown here. Or, right, this would be a Bollinger Band reversal. So, Jyla, an inside bar is defined as price action not making a lower low or a higher high from the previous bar, right? Or the previous day. So on the daily time frame, I can see that this candle's entire range is inside Wednesday's range. So that's why it's an inside bar, or why it tells me it's an inside bar. And then if you want to get the pre-market price line, you go into your settings and you can find it inside there. So just play around with that. BB reversal is a Bollinger Band reversal. Just a way of looking at extended price action. All right, team, any questions here? Any other questions? Anything? All right, so I'm going to go make myself a quick cup of coffee, spend a few minutes here visualizing a successful trading day. And then, yeah, we'll get after it here once the market opens. Hopefully finish off the week with a bang. And, yeah, we'll be back in a few minutes. We'll talk to you guys in a sec. All right, team. So let's get after it here, right? See how the market wants to come together today. And let's be careful, right? If you're going to be one of those sociopaths trading options here today, please be very careful. Buy yourself longer expirations. Don't trade today's expiration. And just make life easy for yourself by buying yourself more time. Don't need to be hyper aggressive here today. All right, so let's see how the day comes together again, right? What would we expect with all this option expiration? What would that generally indicate for us? Would that give us a different volume on the futures? Would that give us more? Would that give us less? What would that tell you? Anyone? Yeah, probably a little bit more volume, right? But what you would call it? The futures, right? People do trade index futures for sure, but not nearly as much as they'll trade it on like the ETFs. So we'd probably anticipate seeing a slight increase, or wouldn't be surprising to see a slight increase here, but probably not anything dramatic. Yeah, for sure. Historically, though, right? Quad witching is, or like, these option expiration days are more of a bear day than a bull day. I think it's something like 73 or 74% of the time they finish red. So we've got trending downside markets. We've got selling conditions, right? Trending price action lower, end of year selling. So it seems a lot more like narratives are syncing up here for a smoother downside move. I would say in general, it would be easier to trust downside price action than upside price action. Right? That would be a more consistent story. So I would need a stricter volume standard, right, for bulls. So bullish case, right, we're less volume here than yesterday's open. I wouldn't be able to trust that. Now, if I get a downside breakdown, I probably could. If I get an upside breakout here, I would be much more cautious. Because there's no indication here that we've done anything that's different or contrary to the PA from this week or from the last couple days. So I'm not going to front run that reversal very aggressively. But yeah, last few quad witching days have been really, really good trading days for me. So we'll see. I have a confession to make here, team. If you hear me being sloppy on Monday, it's because I've ordered like 250 Ferrero Rochers. So if for whatever reason I sound like a disgusting pig, I promise you it's just me stuffing my face with chocolate. Yeah, I'm gonna be, my belly's gonna look like a Ferrero Rocher when I'm done. Yeah, ain't that the truth. Monday I reckon will be okay. I think the 24th is a half day, I think, in the markets. But generally the Monday should be okay. And if it's not, if it's really slow to start, then I'll you know, be like that really generous HR rep that says you can leave 15 minutes early on a Friday. I won't just like sit around and watch. So if something comes together, cool. If not, I'll just go enjoy my holidays. Yeah, I don't have any travel plans until the evening. It's still nothing really going on here yet. Oh, I can be pretty patient. Big opening volume, right? And then kind of nothing since. It's pretty interesting. Oh, I mean, you can buy anything on Amazon. You mean these red lines, Jyla? Yeah, so those are just basically profit targets for when I'm trading this opening range breakout, right? So what they are is they're 2 times away from whatever the size of the opening range is. So in this context here, right, the opening range is 41.75 points. So we are, the profit target here, right, is 82.5 points away. So it's just a way of me being able to have a profit target that is based on the volatility. So that's what that gives me. So those are profit targets. And then once I get through those profit targets, I'm then looking at these secondary numbers that we've got mapped out. There should be a video inside the Discord that basically explains this opening range breakout indicator. Feel free to watch that. It'll probably give you a lot more information than what I just gave you. Okay, decent volume here. Do I trust? Wow. Well, yeah, Norm, they are highly correlated, right? They have a 97% correlation between the two. So that is not surprising. Right, a lot of the names, the biggest names in the S&P 500, right, which is ES, are also the biggest names in NASDAQ, right, which is NQ. So, like, the two largest market weightings are Microsoft and Apple. Right, and I think those account for something like close to 10% of the weighting in ES, and maybe about 11 or 12% in NQ. So they're very similar. That's why they're fun to trade. It's because when you look at them, you can filter out to what is the strongest version of the same setup. And the more consistent that narrative looks, the easier it is for us to trade. Okay, not the greatest 3-min close there. So yeah, Apple is 7.6% of the S&P Microsoft is 6.5%. Nvidia is nearly 6.5%. So those three companies, right, basically are 20, give or take 20% of the index. Right, the top 9 companies by weighting in the S&P are all tech companies. Good thing to have avoided CL so far. So I'm hanging out still, team. No reason to rush. Oh, it loves it, Gabe. It loves it. Okay, not enough volume there. Ugh, excuse me. I mean, this, I'm not... Is that what you mean by RTH, Willard? Ethereum, ETH is futures. Oh. So, regular trading hours, right, is the 9:30 to 4, right, or 4:30, give or take, 4:15, right? So, traditional U.S. market hours. Electronic trading hours also shows you the pre-market, right, or the out of regular trading hours periods. So, if you wanted to trade in Asia or whatever, it would reflect that difference. Come on, increasing volume. You can do it. 25 seconds to go. Let's see if it's got the legs. Okay, should get there. Yep. So we'd be targeting a move here now towards that red line, right? Fake out, confirmation breakdown. So stop loss would be as is 244. Wow, might have missed it. That was quick. So I would need an entry above 215, right, on the 3-min time frame to be able to justify playing this short. Which I think is probably a little bit unlikely. Let's see how this closes. I did get that 216. Okay, so now if I can get stop loss to be 206, that's pretty interesting. Call it 207, just to round up here. Okay, I'm going to start looking for a pullback. Gosh darn, I missed it again. Just as I'm saying it, it flushes. So it's got to get 181 or better, right, as an entry here. Still nothing. And that's cruel. Okay, back to the 3-min here. Now it'd be a stop loss, whatever the high of this candle ends up being. Or alternatively, right, that 207 again. Okay, watching closely here. Okay, no entry yet, right? No entry. Bouncy, bouncy, bouncy. Can maybe do this. We'll pull back entry, so stop loss 246. This is back to the original. So stop loss 20, 246. Watch how this pulls back into our zone. Okay, starting to watch here, starting to watch. Too fast, that's far too fast. Okay, no entry still. So you see how price action tried to make us chase these lows, right? How it felt like, okay, once it hit that 89, that it was going to break down forever. And then once it makes you feel like you're going to chase, it then reverses on you pretty violently. It's a really good reminder that if a trade is strong, it's going to give you more than one chance to enter. And generally the first time where it feels like it's appropriate to take that risk, it's generally not the right time to do so. So now we're looking for a possible reversal setup here to the upside. Right? It's like one price action tries to make you feel emotional about your entry. It's generally a bad entry. Okay, so now we're looking for reversal scenarios here. 236.50 stop loss. Say 236. It's got to be under 253.50 as an entry. So let's see. Maybe can get two. The few minutes here to market data, so I just have to be a little bit patient. Okay, guys, I'm in 249, 2 contracts. Stop at 236. And I'm out. I am out. Very quick move. Close price there. One sec. 263 close price. 263 close price. 2 contracts. That was a quick little ripper. Let's go. So plus 570 on that, plus 570. Yeah, well, truth be told, it started to move very quickly that I stopped typing and went to close my trade, right? And a good decision that was to take it and run. Great start. 30-second trade. Sweet. So what was your entry price? What was your entry price? Your entry price was $2.53. That dollar sign's confusing me a little bit. Okay, so 254.50 entry is not one that you should be taking, right? It should be anything under that red line. So, or under that green line, sorry, right? So that should be a trade you're avoiding. I try to say this all the time, but if you're going long, you want to be buying on the downtick, not on the uptick, right? So as price is pulling back, not as it's breaking out. We don't want to chase price because then we can no longer justify the risk-reward ratio of that decision. So I really dislike that entry. That is one that you should not have taken. Right? Anywhere under that green line is a go zone. Anywhere above is a no-go zone. You traded your no-go zone and made a decision that is expecting you to lose money on. So I don't like that at all. That's a loss that should have been avoided. Guys, everything that we do from an execution perspective is built around risk reward and justifying the risk that we take. If we are going to ignore those rules, then we are destroying our ability to be profitable with our trades. So does not have to be like that. We have to have the discipline to not take trades that are outside of our criteria. So we talked about this morning, first thing we started the day off with was that how when we focus on the quality of our executions, then the P&L takes care of itself. When we rush and chase and P&L hunt, then we get punished. And unfortunately, that's a very good example of that happening there. Yeah, and that's the second we draw out those lines, you should be setting up your limit orders and defining your risk and doing all those things. Yeah, but still not an excuse, right? You got to practice good habits, not bad habits. So if you're saying that, hey, I want to get better at placing limit trades and you're doing market orders, screwing yourself over, right? When we set ourselves up our position, say hypothetically this is what we're trading now, and I'm not trading this, right? You set your limit order to be 268.75 or 268, and you don't click market. You prepare the way that you want to execute. I will not tolerate these self-inflicted gunshot wounds. They're unnecessary. Okay, so now we could look at this potentially. Now, it's not great. Not a ton of space here to the upside, right towards 309. Stop loss would be 250, 250. This might be better as a 5-min setup here. Yeah, as if they're harmful, right? But really, that's so much of what trading is. It's just about learning how to avoid our obvious mistakes. And if we're really willing to keep repeating the same mistakes, it starts to feel like a game that's rigged against us, right? Which is not the reality. Okay, maybe I could go towards this 400 here now. So let's see, 284.50 would have to be the stop. So again, that's the first thing I'm setting up in my order window, right? Setting my stop loss to be 284. Then the next thing, right, I'm setting my price to be at the ask on a limit, and I'm waiting for it to pull back here under 312. If you don't have that discipline to wait for that pullback, then you set your price to be 312 and you protect yourself from basically prematurely an execution. Now I can trade this here on the 3-min, right? A little bit better of a setup because it's breaking and holding above previous high a day. So I don't have to make that inference. So then that would push my stop loss to be 309. So again, right, that's the first thing that I'm adjusting in my order window. Okay, stop loss 309. And then as is, right, I'm risking $700, right, with 2 contracts. So I know that this would be a 1 contract play, right? And then I can look to be more aggressive. So then now when I'm starting to think about an entry, right, or entry timing, I'm looking to buy on a downtick, not on the uptick, right? So as price action is pulling back, that ends up being my reason to click submit. As I see price increasing, that gives me reason to slow down, right? And to buy myself time to make a decision. Okay, and so far, right, not rushed into this trade. As it was pulling back, right, it was pulling back very, very quickly. So now I see that my stop loss needs to be 307. Okay, now even lower. Okay, now 294. he keeps just breaking down here, right? So maybe looking a bit like a fake out here now. Don't want to see it pulling back much more than this. And the point, right, of waiting for basically pullback entries so that we don't get caught chasing. Because when you get caught chasing and then it pulls back like this, it is the most frustrating reaction to price action that one could possibly get, right? Okay, so I'm going to say no entry here, no dice. And now we're starting to look for a possible rejection scenario here, right, on our indexes. So good start to the day, but I don't need to be hyper aggressive or chase, right? So just as a reminder, right? Paper trading is a very, very powerful tool if you choose to treat it with respect, right? So just because it doesn't make you any money doesn't mean it can't help you create good trading habits. So if you treat it right with respect, you treat it as if you're using it to create muscle memory, you will find that transition to trading live or in your own personal accounts a lot easier because your fast twitch muscles are going to be working in your favor, not against you, right? Okay, so we're looking here for a reversal scenario now for sure. Stop loss 274.50 for now. So again, first thing I'm setting, right, is my stop loss. Not chasing price here. Okay, so still watching carefully. It'll only be a one contract play, right? Okay, above 260, right? You could be two contracts. Okay, still nothing. Now stop losses have to be 285, right? So what we've seen here so far from price action, right? Fake outs higher, fake outs lower, is punishing us to chase here. So if I'm seeing, right, that from PA, does that make me want to chase entries, right? Or is that telling me I need to be freaking patient and not an asshole, right? For lack of a better term. I don't want to be a self-sabotaging asshole when all I've seen here is so far that it fakes out before it gives me a move, right? So I should have no reason to feel as if I need to chase price here when all I'm seeing is that every time you chase, you get freaking punished, right? So why would I want to commit to doing something that I've seen the market punish a tremendous amount here so far today, right? I don't have to do that. Life is too short to unnecessarily cost myself money, right? Really don't have to be that guy. And if I'm seeing what the market is giving me, if I'm looking at that feedback and then I'm choosing to ignore it, then I don't actually want to be a profitable trader. I just want the chance or the thrill of having risk on. And how you behave when you choose to basically be a gambler versus how you behave when you're trying to execute your edge is very different, right? And the results are very different. So we have to choose, right, and commit to that pattern of behaviors and then match our actions, right, to our words. If we can't do that, good luck, right? It'll never feel like enough. It'll never move quick enough. It'll never give you enough. You'll always feel unsatisfied for when it moves. Again, now we're looking for a high vol breakout and hold above previous high a day. I'm not sure if we're going to get increasing volume on that time frame. I'm not sure we're going to get increasing volume here on the 3. Maybe a chance on NQ. Nope. Okay, ES, sorry, 3 min. Maybe we have a chance. Held above previous high a day. So you'd be targeting a move towards 59.40. All right, so we got to be a little bit cautious here. So again, right now, first thing I'm waiting for is, am I getting either the pullback entry or am I getting the breakout entry? Okay, it looks like it's going to be the breakout entry for the aggressive technique, right? So if that's the case, I know that my stop loss needs to be, we'll say 930.75. So that's the first thing I'm setting, right? 930.75. And then an entry anywhere under 932.75. And I know that this market wants to fake me out. So if I know that's the reality, okay, already saved myself some money by not rushing in this decision. Now I know my stop loss needs to be 930.25. And again, right, an entry under 932.50. So I'll set that as my limit price. And I know I could buy 4 contracts based on that amount of risk. So then now I'm waiting for a pullback, a gentle, caressing, smooth, right? Like a puppy's ears type pullback under 32.50. If it's violent, if it's aggressive, if it's quick, if it feels suspicious in any way. No, right? Like that went 2 points in a second. That is not the reaction you would expect to see if you got strong bears, right? Or strong bulls, sorry. So again, you wait, right? We reset. Now stop loss needs to be 929.75. We've seen, what, 2 fake outs here now, right? And you're looking for an entry under 932. So same thing. Now when we get under or at 932, we want to see that, you know, little soft puppy ears pullback, right? Before we do anything aggressive. if I don't see that, well, I can't lie to myself and think, hey, I would have made money on this. Certainly would not have. So then maybe the only other opportunities I get here would then be on the longer time frames, like an NQ. Right? 15-min breakout, increasing outlier volume. Pull back into 945, stop loss at 920. That's 25 points. What's 25 times 20? Well, that's 500. You'd like to see a deeper pullback than that. So I would say I'm watching NQ more on the 15. Stop loss 920. Again, no reason to rush into this. What have we seen here all day? Fake outs, fake outs, fake outs. Right? So, like, the heartbeat should be calm here, right? Should not feel like you need to chase. Right? Because all the evidence you have here today of chasing price action would have led to a loss, right? Every single one. So instead of being a self-sabotaging asshole, you could be patient, right? Not get on Santa's naughty list and wait for price action to be absolutely freaking perfect before you decide to risk your hard-earned capital and to commit your time and energy to a setup, right? And have we missed anything? Objectively, no. Right? The only way we would have made money here so far is had our entry been perfect. And that's not happened here yet, right? Okay, so still watching here. Well, it sounds like you've got too many contracts, right? Sounds like you have two contracts there. Not one. So you need to change the number of units that you're trading. So for me, it sounds like you've got maybe the USD price set and your stop loss number has changed relative to what it was. So your stop loss should be 21,320. And your limit price of like 45 or lower. Yeah, sounds a lot like my initial NQ trade, Jenny. Where it's like, oh, fuck, this happened faster than I thought. Let me run before it hurts. Sounds good, Kyle. Enjoy your weekend. Definitely no point trading if you have tech issues. Yeah, but you don't want your entry price to be 21,376.50, right? You have to change your limit price to be able to account for that extra risk. So you set your limit price to be 21,345 or lower, right? So if each point is worth $20, you have to account for that risk, and you have to wait for a deeper pullback to justify taking that trade. Right? It's what we've been talking about here all morning. I've said it multiple times, right? Entry price under 21.45, 345. We can't then make our entry price 376 and say that we're happy with that risk, right? These are basics. We have to get this correct, and you have to spend the time practicing your entry timing and solving for these problems in your own time, because I can't be answering these when I'm looking for an entry. Right? So the order of operations is, okay, can I get the risk reward? Yes. Can I get the position sizing that I want? Is my position sizing risking more than $500 or less than $500? If it's more than $500, you either size down or you wait for a deeper pullback. Right? That's it. Those are your only two options. So if you're at one contract, the only remaining option you have is buy a deeper pullback, right? There is no alternative. And so you keep changing your price until you're happy that you're within your $500 of max risk. Now my trading view isn't working. So guys, if we can't answer our own risk management questions for ourselves, we're always going to struggle. It's never going to feel good, and we're going to hate the way we feel when we're trading. Guaranteed. And I cannot be the one who answers those questions for you, right? We have to take accountability for that for ourselves if we want to feel good about the decisions that we're making. And we should never take a trade if we're not happy that we're within our risk management protocols. If we start taking trades that are outside of those protocols, good luck to you. You're not going to make any money. And again, there's plenty of videos in the Discord that show you my process, exactly what I do, full screen share of my entry process. So if you don't feel confident in what you're doing or why you're doing it, please spend the time watching those resources and then spend an afternoon executing 100 paper trades, right? But don't expect to figure it out as you go. Be proactive, not reactive, if you want to get better at this game. Everyone understand? I need everyone's confirmation on this, guys. Right? You are never going to feel good about your trade if you do not understand the terms that you're accepting when you place that trade and why you're accepting those terms, right? And so then if you enter a decision with an anxious mindset, all you are going to do is compound the mistakes, right? You're going to close your trades late. You're going to close them early. You're going to be emotionally trading them instead of technically trading them. That's why it's so important that everyone understands how to basically control these variables themselves so that they can make that own decision, right? Okay, so we're back to watching here. No, Norm. My recommendation would be your stop loss in the same spot and to then trade micros or to wait for deeper pullbacks. I would not change my stop loss based on the dollar figure. I would change my stop loss. I would not change my stop loss, sorry, right? Full stop. I want to get out not where the number hurts, but where I am wrong. If I don't like the number, I size down, or I wait for a different pullback, or I trade micros. Again, this stuff is all gone over in the course. Please use that material. And stop changing rules to suit what you think is easiest. Do what's best, not what's easiest. What's easiest drives me freaking up the wall. Right? Because it doesn't make you more money. It just makes things seem easier, and it's the lazy method. And then have to fix that in 3 months when we should have fixed it in 3 days. So, based on a stop loss of 452, what is 25 points above 452? What's the number? Yeah, 477. So, at the very least, that would be the tightest entry I could get on that 5-min time frame, right? So, you have to reset. And this is just a squeeze mode here, market. Crazy rally. Okay, so back to the 3-min here. So on a pullback, 86 to 51 is how many points? 35 points, right? So 35 times 20, is that more or less than 500? It's quite a bit more, right? So we'd have to wait for a deeper pullback than that to justify taking the trade. See how easy that is, right? And that's the first thing. No, Kiki. I would tell you when I'm in a trade. I am just trying to explain how waiting for risk management works. I did not get in at 477. Mike did not get in at 477. We asked what was the price where you would be within $500 worth of risk. So, based on a stop loss at 21,450, what do we need an entry to be under here? What price? Someone other than Mike answer this, please. Yeah, 475, right? So, I can set my limit price here to be 475, and it either pulls in under that price or I don't take the trade, right? So although 486 is the starting point, it's not the only reason or the only criteria I'm looking at, right? Anywhere under this area is a justifiable risk reward entry, not necessarily a justifiable risk management entry. Okay, and now we're getting close. So I've got everything set up, right? Stop loss 21,450, limit price 21,475, number of units 1. And I'm waiting to see if I get the right reaction as we creep up towards that area so I can click submit. If I don't, awesome. I'm sitting on hands, not clicking buy, having the discipline to walk away, or waiting for a tighter risk reward zone, right? This idea that I have to rush this decision just to make money is freaking ridiculous. That is the Trade Like a Pro course, Nitin, on my website, or you can find that material inside the trading docs. So again, right, we're up nicely green here on the day. I don't need to take another trade, right? And I certainly don't need to take one that is outside of my risk management zone, that is outside of my entry zone, or one that breaks my rules, right? So if I finish the day up 570 bucks per account, it's a great day. So we can't make things more complicated for ourselves by skipping steps. Makes my job much harder, for one, right? But it also makes your life a lot more unprofitable. Okay, so double inside bar here, right? Maybe we can get a tighter risk management setup here. So we know approximately, right? We don't want it being deeper than 25 points, right? So 28 to 505, 23 points. So we know that anywhere inside that zone, once we get a breakout, would be an acceptable entry. So again, now I'm just going back to setting things up, right? Stop loss 21,505. Not pulling the trigger here yet, right? Not getting close to that, but just setting up my order window so that I don't feel like I'm rushing this for when it does give me that correct reaction, right? So I'm being proactive here, not reactive. And I'm preparing myself so that all I have to focus on then, right, is my execution. I know that then everything else, right, is within my parameters. We've had 2 minutes, right, to set that stuff up. So choosing to have not done that and delaying that so you can do it right when it's time to enter, again, dumb decision, right? You're not making it easy for yourself to be profitable. And I don't have to click buy here. I don't have to click submit on the button. I don't have to do any of those things. But I could still draw in the lines, right? Or draw in the outline. And then if it doesn't come together, I don't have to click submit, right? Okay, so now stop loss would be 497.25. From 21 to 497, what's the difference? Yeah, it's exactly. So that would allow us to buy one contract, right, on that pullback, if we get one. Otherwise, right, we're back looking at that 77 entry here with the stop loss at 52. Remember, team, so much over what trading is it's looking at our habits and our behaviors and asking ourselves, is this helping me make money or is this helping me lose money? 95% of your current trading habits are helping you lose money, not helping you make money. Right? So instead of focusing on how much I'm going to make, how much this, how much that, how much this, ask yourself, what are these things that are slowing me down? What are the patterns of behavior that I have that consistently set me back? How can I fix those patterns? If you're not willing to do that work, it honestly does not matter what my win rate's going to be, right? It honestly won't make a difference. And it won't matter how much I rant and rave in here. if you're just going to choose to ignore that, right? So there's like sexy work in trading, and then there's the unglamorous stuff that actually makes you money. But sometimes you gotta be Mike Rowe and do the dirty jobs instead of just thinking that you're gonna be whoever, right? Just do all the flashy shit. But the work in trading isn't the trading part. That's the fun stuff. That's the stuff that's like the reward at the end of a long day. The work in trading is studying your decisions, studying your patterns, right? Creating data for yourself to realize, hey, what I'm doing is objectively losing me money. Let me fix that. And then testing, what's this going to do? What's that going to do? Hey, does this actually improve me? Does this not? Whatever. And then when you do the glamorous fun stuff, there's actually a good positive benefit from it. It isn't just the thrill of losing money, right? But too many traders have fun losing money, right? To the point where they're unwilling to change their behaviors. And it's fucking pathetic. So 34 to 14, 20 points, right? So if I can get a breakout above this confirmation candle high and then a pullback into 34, I would be happy with my position sizing, right? And anywhere inside that zone would be an appropriate entry. Okay, so now 21 points, right? So still within my risk reward and the risk management criteria. So 511, right? Stop loss for now. And we still need to break out above this confirmation candle high, this 1030 candle high, and then pull back into 32.25. Yeah, honestly, team, like, there's nothing that sets me on a rant more than seeing a decision that is taken that you think is correct, but is actually designed to cost you money, right? Because it's so avoidable. And I feel like it's all pretty obvious and clear on what you should be doing. And just making a bad choice because you want the thrill of a result. It's just such obvious self-sabotage. It drives me crazy. It doesn't have to be like that. It really doesn't. Okay, so what are we waiting for here? What do we need to see happen before we can look for an entry? Yeah, break of high a day, right? So a breakout above our confirmation candle high. It's approximately 538. We don't necessarily need volume here, Sammy, because we haven't done anything to invalidate our confirmation candle, right? So we haven't broken out above that high. We're still very much compressed inside that. So we're looking, right, for that basically breakout to not fail. We don't need necessarily more volume. This is still our active setup trigger and our correct confirmation. Sounds good, Jenny. Enjoy your weekend. Well done this week, Jenny. Very proud of the work that you've been putting in and that you've actually taken accountability to fix your trading pain points. And the progress that has then created for your accounts has been tremendous. So just wanted to highlight you as someone who has done the dirty work, who has done the micro dirty jobs. and hasn't just done the flashy BS. And how quickly your trading is transformed in 45 days by basically making that commitment. So very, very proud of you. That's literally half the battle, right? We all do stupid shit. We all don't have to, right? You don't have to. Okay. So now we're looking at a 5-12-25 stop loss. Right? And we're looking for an entry under 33. And I could possibly do it here on the 5. I had to go stop loss 32. So I'll be the priority here. We're just waiting for it to correct or behave nicely. Now stop loss have to be 26.25. So I'll just round it down to 26. Make life easy. Okay, so watching very closely here still. It's probably objectively, right? Not the correct reaction here yet. So now we gotta go 514. Right, as a stop loss. So that's going to change our position sizing metrics, right? Now even lower, 513.75, I think I just saw. So go 512. Maybe we're starting to set ourselves up here for a little rejection thesis, right? Constantly seeing that breakout fail and not find support inside the previous candle's range. So again, maybe it makes you think a little bit. Okay, is this a rejection spot, right? See how it kind of like lunges down instead of lunges up? So what's missing on those red candles? Yeah, volume, right? It's increasing but not outlier. So we've got no reason to think that it's any different type of price action than the sloppy chop, right? We've seen here at this 500 level. And remember, team, it's got nothing to do with feelings, right? Price action doesn't give a shit how we feel, right? And the feedback that we get from the market and how that makes us feel is actually the data that we want to track, right? That's telling us basically what our like largest insecurities are. So we need to track that, right? We need to study that. We need to learn from those decisions. And then when we do, right, we can learn how to fix them so we don't feel those things in the future. And I promise you, feedback is never personal. Guys, think about this with Steph, right? The guy who taught me how to trade or how to trade seriously. And I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm sure. But at the time, I hated him. I thought he was rude, obnoxious, didn't like me, didn't any of these things, right? And in reality, he didn't have to give me that level of his energy, right? It actually showed me that he cared. But I was just an immature kid who thought he was being an asshole, but he didn't like me. He could have passed me off to someone else. He could have given the assignment to someone. He could have told them to fire me. He could have done 1,000 different things. But instead, he didn't. He gave me his energy. He gave me his effort. Right? And he emphasized things. And it was me that made it feel personal. It wasn't him. He actually was showing me a tremendous amount of respect to be honest with me and to not bullshit me, right? And it was me who didn't realize that. All he wanted, right, was for me to win and to be the best I could be. And it was my selfishness, my emotional unintelligence that made it feel personal. That made it feel like he didn't like me. That made it feel as if he didn't want me to be successful. When all of his actions were opposite of that. He actually wanted me to win. Yeah, he's still alive, yeah. He's like maybe 50 years old now. So now we're looking for a 600 break and hold or around that 600 area here. All right, then maybe we can get this next leg towards 7. It's fine. So now let's see where we find support here. So 594.75 would be the stop loss for now. I'll just go 594. Let's keep it tight. And I'm looking for a little gentle pullback here again, right? I'm buying on the downtick, not the uptick. Again, we can trade this on the 3-min here now. Where you push your stop to be 608. Let's see if it holds. Okay. Now you're back to 594. Have we missed anything? No. Right? I ask you again, have we missed anything? No, right? So again, this idea that we've seen markets fake out, not give us super easy price action here. What has it done? It's just saved us money, saved us energy. It's allowed me to rant and rave like a lunatic. Yeah, and this is the type of price action, right? That what's the worst feeling in the world as a trader? Or one of the worst feelings. It's getting stopped out and then seeing it run in your direction, right? Where you would have been correct had you had broken a rule. It's one of those days, right? Where you would have been correct had you broken your rule, right? If you didn't manage your risk appropriately. And then what does that make us feel like? Well, it makes us feel like we're owed a win, right? And once we start behaving that way, we don't trade rationally. We trade emotionally or for a P&L purpose or for whatever. And that always ends pretty badly, right? Again, still in play here potentially. I'd prefer to see a reversal setup, I think, right? Because price action is relatively extended. Hell of a bounce. Okay, so watching here for a possible NQ reversal. That's a big move, right? So we probably don't need to go towards low of day as our risk reward. We could look at maybe like 400. It's 200 points, right? So that's so much. So again, trying to watch here to the downside. Okay, so high a day is like 621, we'll call it. And again, if we're going to go short, right, we want to go short on the uptick, not chasing on the downtick. What does that tell us, right? Tells us, hey, we could have probably avoided, right, getting shaken out here. So now stop would have to be 623.25. A little fake out, right? How many times have we seen that here today? A dozen at least. And it hasn't been a gentle pullback, not yet. Jeez. This freaking lunatic does not want to die. Gotta respect it. Okay, so now we're looking at a 601 stop loss here. Again, on the downtick, right? On the downtick. Okay, guys, I am in long here. Average price 614. Stop at 601. I only got one contract here. It's a little bit late in the day. Been a little bit frustrated, so I'm being responsible here. Might have a chance to pyramid in if it wants to behave nicely. But so far, so good. And it's just one contract. Again, right? I am making it easy for myself to lose small, not optimizing to try to win big, right? I'm being proactive, not reactive. We get that? Right, and so far, turning into a great result. Right? 300 something bucks here. So far, so good. Might have a chance to pyramid into this and build up my position where I can go risk-free. Short term, I don't need to rush anything, force anything, do anything stupid. Anyone in here with me? All right, let's go. This thing's flying here, team. Nearly 500 bucks, a bit more than 500 now. Good volume, all right? So the squeeze is continuing. There's 600, nearly 700 bucks. Okay, so now we could possibly look for a pyramid entry here. Okay. All right, sweet. So now I have two contracts. Average price is now $630. Stop is at 642. And let's see if this thing can run. Okay, still surviving. I have to get out. All right. I am out. Plus 247.85. We'll see if this thing wants to set back up again here for us. So gave back a little bit of P&L there, right? It's not great feeling. You know, gave back like 400 bucks. That's the way she goes sometimes. A win's a win. maybe again. We're back to possible rejection territory here. Let's see. Nope. Not on that candle. I might be back looking for a 15-min setup here. Unlucky. This is some squeeze. Okay, maybe I have another opportunity here, but these positions keep getting tighter and tighter, right? So we need to be very careful. It's got 5 seconds to go. Will it go increasing? It's going to be close. No. He still has plenty of volatility, so I'm not really in a rush to go anywhere. I've had a lot of joy trading this later session here recently. Again, we're watching here, so they can go increasing volume on the 5. It'll be close. It is now. Okay, so stop loss 662. It's got to get above 70 and then pull back. Now, maybe we're doing pullback entries here. So So now stop would be 54, right? Now we need a pullback, right? So now we need to see it pull back under 64, so at least 10 points. It's getting close. Come on. It's going to be perfect. Not close. It's got to be perfect, right? Compromises will not pay you long term. They might feel good in the moment. They won't pay you long term. Too fast, right? Far too fast. So again, good decision to have waited, right? So now we're looking at a 49 stop. We're just taking the information, right, that the market has been giving us and adapting, right, improving, using that to not rush, right? One of my favorite sayings is the market's going to behave like it always has until proven otherwise. So how has the market behaved here today? Melt up and fake outs, right? Fake outs, then melt up. Fake outs, then melt up, right? And it's been doing this like an unhinged beast. Honestly, freaking crazy move today. Okay, so now we're looking at a 46, and we want to see a breakout above and then a gentle pullback. And then if we don't get it on this candle in 90 seconds, right, maybe get it on that candle. Okay, so again, watching here closely, carefully, cautiously. Okay, so stop loss would be 660 for now. Good move. And now we want to see a gentle pullback, right? Gentle, gentle, gentle. Ooh, this dick. It does not know what that word means. Okay, so again, watching carefully. Feels like it might try to make a lower low first and then make a move. So let's see. And I don't have to rush anything here, right? Good bounce. This thing's a freaking lunatic. To say I'm impressed by the enthusiasm with this move today is quite the understatement. To say that I'm disappointed I've only made like $700 trading this, now that's a different conversation. Still looking at that 70 area. I mean, this might be a little bit more interesting here. Maybe a little bit easier to trade. Okay, so starting to watch CL here to the downside. So 29 would be the stop here for now. See if it rejects. It'd be now 30. $31. Oh, fucking you. This thing is an unhinged lunatic. Okay, so 33 would be the stop loss. Holy Jesus, maybe I have to just focus here. Squeeze mode. I'm so impressed. Disgusted, but impressed. Every time I look over, it's up 30 points. Oh my gosh. Freaking NQ. I'm like speechless about this thing. Could not have been more wrong about it having a bearish bias today. I could not have been more wrong about that. Okay, so back to watching NQ on this melt up. This thing's a freaking insane asylum patient. Okay, so stop loss would be 734. Let's see if it finds some support here. Okay, so yeah, 734 stop loss. Okay, it's got to pull back here gently, 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 gently. Don't squeeze out. Oh, you fucking cunt. How is this possible today? Okay, watching on the 5. Same shit, right? Oh, I actually might be able to pull this on the 3 now. Okay, watching carefully. Okay, guys, I'm in 44.75, 2 contracts. Stop loss 34. All right, see if this thing can run on me. So far, so good. Don't know why I said it that way. Come on. So far, so good. So far, so good. Again, might be a chance to pyramid here. Let's see. So I could have my stop loss at 62. Let's see if I could do this. Okay, buy a pullback. I'm not going to have a chance. 81, 1,500 bucks. Come on, come on. Who's in this with me, team? Who's in this with me? Anyone? Let's go. What's your entry, Soda Pop? All right. Nice work, Emmett. $780's your entry, Kyle. What are you doing? The fuck? Come on, man. I can't rant and rave like that here all day for that to be the move. $29. That doesn't seem right either. That's below the stop loss. Fair play. 477. Wow, what an entry. Yeah, I can't see that glare, Kyle. Come on. All right, guys. So now I have 4 contracts just bought on this pullback here. Average price is 55. Let's see if we can survive this. Oh, dirty, dirty, dirty. Drop me like Rock Purdy. Well, I am out of this protecting at entry. Goodness gracious. That was annoying. Yeah, I mean, 3 trades, 3 wins. I can't really complain here today, John. So, maybe a little bit greedy with that last trade. Again, closing as my P&L is decreasing here, not increasing. Does not have me feeling as nicey as it should. Now we might be looking at a little rejection thesis. Let's keep an eye here. Quite deep in overtime. So, definitely making up for yesterday. I'll tell you that much, team. How's everyone feeling? Good? Not so good? You guys still with me? What's the move here? Down towards maybe 500? That's such a big... Okay, so we're looking at a 760 stop loss here. Deep into overtime. Crazy day. Again, it's just the opposite of what we've been doing here so far all morning, right? Fake outs, fake outs, fake outs, right? Be patient. Let price action make the move. You can always get in, right? If it's strong, we've seen how extended it can go before it breaks. So we've got plenty of range here. Don't need to be in a rush. Yeah, you gotta figure out this picture, man. I can't do anything with that. That's horrific. Okay, so I'm watching here, right? Still to the downside. And I'm looking for a pullback, right? Pullback. I won't chase. I won't chase. I wish I did, but I won't. If our stop loss is 760, right? We got to get a much tighter entry. Great job, Mike. Again, if a trade is strong, it'll give us more than one chance to enter. Here's a prime example. Let's go. Good job. Let's see how this closes. So still the same logic here. So 720, say 728 stop loss for now. We need to see a breakdown under this candle's lows and then a retest of that price, give or take. So 24 points, right, would be one contract. Okay, and now we're looking back at that pullback technique, so above 35, right? Approximately. $7.59, I mean, be a great entry. Would be within 2 points of your stop loss, right? Stop loss right now needs to be 7.62, so 3 points. I am looking around here, though, for sure. All right, guys, I am in short, 7:48 on the dot. Only one contract. Stop loss at 62. Oh, it was green right away. Why are you doing this? No. Come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I got stopped. Minus 275. Oh, that was mean. Just maybe a little bit early. Yeah, back to my entry price. That's cruel. Cruel. Okay, guys, I'm trying again here. 258. Entry, stop loss at 68. It's 2 contracts. And here it goes. Let's go. Okay, 729. Keep breaking down here, you psycho. Come on. I would say probably one thing I've struggled with a little bit here today with just the range that we've had. Not been as good as I probably need to have been at closing as my PNL is increasing. There's like a little bit of a hopium there. Come on. Last chance, Magoo. I don't like this inside bar. Come on, die, die, die. Terrible close. Should have taken that 29. Let's see. 560, 580. Anyone in this with me on the second attempt here? Come on, flush, baby. What was your stop loss on that first one, Cordell? How many trades today, man? Fair play. And your entry price was what? And why'd you place your stop loss at 73? How'd you get that number? Yeah, but don't you want to stop yourself out where you're wrong, not where the P&L hurts? Right? Like that for me, I don't like that decision. Because it's, if you don't like the P&L, you wait for a different entry or you buy less contracts. You don't change the point where you walk away and ignore that you're wrong. That I don't understand. That defies logic. That's a decision thinking that I'm not going to be wrong. versus a decision that makes it easy to admit defeat. Right? You're allowing your ego to say, hey, I'm correct on my idea. How can I make it easy to be correct when you're looking at that backwards? So I don't like that. Our objective, right, with, yeah, but it's not the high of your entry candle. It's a point above that still, right? So it's a process based on thinking that, hey, I'm gonna outsmart my thesis. If your idea is that I'm gonna get faked out, why not then buy the fake out instead of buying yourself a bigger buffer? Right? That is an execution failure. So I don't like that. Right? That's not making it easier for you to admit that you're wrong. That's making a decision that, hey, I'm not going to be wrong on this trade. So let me create space, whatever it is. It's not making it easy to be a good loser. Just because you have more cushion doesn't mean you got to give it that cushion. Right? Why do I need to make losses bigger than they need to be? Just because I want my ego to feel satisfied that I got to win. The point of this one trade a day challenge is to improve and maximize your execution, not to solve for P&L. Right? Improve the quality of your decisions. Don't change them to try to create a result. So I don't like that at all. Well, the idea here, right, is to have a consistent way of how you're getting to your stop loss location. In our most recent candles, that 73 is not anywhere, right? It's a random space in the void. So that's a stop loss based on where the P&L hurts, not where your idea is wrong. Right? So it's a stop loss of where I'm down $500. Not where my idea is invalidated. Guys, I've been out of this trade here for a few minutes, just to stress that. Closed at 54. Right? Because your stop loss logic would be either stop loss at high of day, right? Which would make sense. Stop loss at high of your confirmation candle, right? Or high of your entry candle. Space in between, it's no man's land. Right? So the point, yeah, you could trade a different setup, but your setup trigger should dictate where your stop loss is. It should be high of day, right? That's logical. High of your confirmation candle or high of your entry candle. Those are your three options. Neither one of those, right, was what you did here. You chose the point where your P&L hurt, not where your setup was wrong. So the previous 3-min candle high then would have been 67, not 73. Right? The most other one besides that would have been 83 or 85.25. You get what I mean, though, right? Your stop loss location is not the high of any of those candles. It's a buffer above that. So why are you allowing yourself to take a larger loss than required? No. Micros and minis will be the same. It's a one-to-one correlation on price. All right, team, I'm done for the day. I'm a little bit burnt out. I'm not going to deal with any more of this bullshit. Leaving a lot of money on the table here, which is pretty annoying. But a good day, all things considered. So 1264.67 on the day. And one losing trade, that's not too shabby. All right, team, any questions here? Any questions? All right, team. Final call for questions. Final call for questions. Any questions, team? Any questions? Yeah, today should have been a much bigger day, right, than what it was. I think I probably left $2,500 on the table, maybe more. So definitely would have expected, yeah, probably a little bit of why I maybe traded this late into the day, right, where I felt like I was probably owed a bit more than what I got. But I won't complain. All in all, pretty good day. Definitely feeling a little bit burnt out. So ready for a weekend and ready for a bit of time off. But yeah, team, same deal like always, right? If you have any questions, hit me up outside of market hours, and I will do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Otherwise, looking forward to catching up with, actually, no more one-on-ones here the rest of the year. But yeah, looking forward to seeing you guys on Monday, and hopefully we can have a good trading day then to finish things off with a bang. So have yourselves a great one, team, and we'll talk soon.